holiday season has officially begun. The celebration of the Thanksgiving Day Parade is followed by the excitement of Christmas, including the Philadelphia Santa Run. Hello, I'm Corey Meredith.
And I'm Steve Graham. LaSalle is also preparing for the holiday season by informing students about housing extensions, while the university mourns the death of Brother Burke, founder of the LaSalle Art Museum.
And welcome to the final episode of the fall semester of LTV News, where we bring you everything LaSalle, Philadelphia, and world news.
We have plenty coming your way today, with Corey and I sitting down with the one and only Dean Welsh to discuss the late night show he will be hosting. And later, Madison Elliott sits down with Chuck Booth to talk about LaSalle University's toy drive. But first, let's see what's happening at LaSalle. LaSalle University has been actively working on reducing energy consumption. On Friday, November 6th, PICO President Craig Adams awarded LaSalle with the Smart Ideas rebate check, which President Colleen Hanich accepted and said the check served as recognition for the upgrades that were made possible with the school's partnership with Simons. Displayed in the union, the check recognizes the 13 different projects the school has been working on for the past 2 years. Examples of some of the projects would be energy-efficient lighting in the library, resident halls, and classrooms, also enhanced refrigeration methods. With help from Simon's partnership, LaSalle reduced energy consumption by more than 20%. So I guess you could say we earned it.
LaSalle University will always remember Brother Daniel Burke, former university president and art museum founder. Brother Burke's love of the arts and education began at an early age when he took weekly visits to the Carnegie Museum. He then began his lifelong service to the Christian Brothers when he became a junior novitate at LaSalle Hall in Amandale, Maryland. 3 years later, in 1944, he became a Christian Brother. Burke received a bachelor's degree in English and a minor in art history, and later he received a master's and doctorate degree in English. In 1957, Brother Burke became an English professor at LaSalle, and his potential was immediately recognized by the other brothers. Just 3 years later, he became the university's first vice president for academic affairs. Brother Burke began his lifelong career of transforming the academic institution. His goal, to make the college academically excellent. His approach, an emphasis on rigor. His work built a strong academic foundation for the university. In 1969, Brother Burke became a LaSallian president. He continued the school's success, and during his 6-year tenure, he even invited women into the institution, including women faculty members, forever changing and improving LaSalle. 1976 marked the year Brother Burke would step down, and he returned to his first love, educating. He began teaching full-time and growing the LaSalle Art Museum, which has seen tremendous growth since. He is known by many individuals for his passion towards the LaSallian academic mission and his inspiration. We here at LaSalle TV are so truly thankful for Brother Burke's contribution to this great university.
With less than 2 weeks left of classes and finals week to complete the semester, students must be aware of winter break guidelines for evacuation and housing extensions. The last day of the semester is December 18th, and students must be checked out of their dorm rooms, apartments, and townhouses by 6 p.m. Make sure to unplug all electronics, extension cords, and refrigerators. On-campus living areas will be checked by resident assistants and coordinators to ensure that university spaces are following restrictions for closing. Also, students are encouraged to pay close attention to their LaSalle email for housing extension deadlines to avoid late fines. Make sure to sign out with your RA before leaving, and have a great, safe winter break.
It's time for our first commercial break, but when we come back, Steve and I will be joined by LaSalle student Dean Welsh to discuss his upcoming late night show, and we bring you everything Philly, so stay tuned.
We all have a role to play here at Richard Petty Motorsports. We respect each other, work hard, and that helped us get the big win in Daytona. My partners in the U.S. Air Force also know that it takes a team to make each mission a success. Your coworkers, family, and friends are your team. Treat them with respect, and together you can accomplish great things. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
The United States Air Force has a proud history of leading our nation in embracing diversity. We've been reaching new heights for years by understanding it's our individual experiences which make us strong. You can share in this success by seeking opportunities to learn and grow as a member of a diverse team. We are the world's greatest Air Force, not because of what we do, but who we are. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
Today, a new creature walks among us, terrorizing innocent citizens. Until this threat can be contained, we must all be on the lookout for the dreaded digital deadwalkers.
Dude!
They're not looking out for you.
Engage!
A public service safety message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, who want to keep everyone well connected with strong, healthy bones.
When you're dying, what will it be like? You think you may know until you see what hospice can do. Expert loving care that enables more cherished moments, more smiles, maybe one more dance. Turns out when you're dying, there's more living to do. These families discovered what hospice is. See what's possible at momentsoflife.org.
Welcome back to LaSalle TV News. We are joined by Dean Welsh, and Dean, I must say, you look ridiculous.
Thank you. That's
But
typical. Dean.
thank you for coming on.
Oh, I appreciate it.
We know that your show coming up, you're producing. You tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, it's called LaSalle Tonight. It's going to be on Tuesday next week. We're going to run during the free period, so doors open at 12:15. Show starts at 12:30, and we'll air it on LaSalle TV for like a late night program.
And where is this show going to be at?
The Dan Rodden Theater on campus, main campus.
So where did this idea come from? Like, how did you get the idea
It came
to do a late
mostly
show?
from Brendan Rigney, actually, who's going to be our host. I produced the show with him, and I'm also going to be the band director of the show. But he and I had both like fleshed out the idea together in the beginning of our capstone class for a production for the entire class to get involved in. So he and I planned out the entire thing, got the guests, got the music, got it all down pat together until now, and we're ready to go.
So you're expecting a decent live crowd?
We're trying our best. We're trying our best to get the crowd that we need. So yeah, I'm expecting it to be pretty good and a lot, because we're going to need the live audience sound.
Okay, so you're going to use the live audience sound. Is the audience, are you anticipating like to use them in the show in any way?
Not exactly, but we have thrown around some ideas to have some maybe like people in the audience of our own to have like some jokes through there. But the audience is really just there to pump up the like feel of the show, really.
So what is the feel of the show?
The feel of the show is kind of like your typical late night show. Like think like Jimmy Kimmel or like Jimmy Fallon nowadays. They have guests, they have musical guests, they have like games where they play. So our second guest is going to be Jack Downey after our first guest, which is the new President Hanich of LaSalle.
Oh, that's awesome that you got her to come on.
Yeah, it's going to be really great. So we'll learn a lot about her, and then we'll learn a lot about Jack Downey, who's a professor here for the religion department, who's done a lot of really great things for us and like the world as a whole. And we're going to play a game with him afterwards, which should be pretty interesting. I won't tell you about it, but
This would be a surprise.
I hope so.
Are you expecting there to be like a humorous mood during the show?
Yeah, definitely a humorous mood. I think it's going to take a change. At first, we're going to start it out humorous. We're going to have a lot of like sketches that we've written performed there for the show. But when the president comes on, I think it's going to be a little bit different. After her, though, it's definitely a humorous feel, and I think that's why the audience being there and laughing is going to be important.
I think Brendan's a pretty good choice for a host for that show.
Well, he's funny looking, yeah, so it works out.
Yeah, I guess so.
But we know, Colleen Hanich, she's got a lot on her plate right now, the new president, and like she does have a sense of humor. We've seen that in a couple talks she's given now. But what do you expect? What are you trying to show what she's going to say to the audience?
It's just another way for LaSalle, the community, to really know her, and I think that she's taken that under her wing as something that's really important to her throughout this whole first year of hers. So I think that adding one more way to just get her personality out there to the students that wouldn't normally meet her on a day-to-day basis, I think is pretty important for her. So I think that's why that she chose to come on here, and I think that's why it was a good fit for the show.
And did you and Brendan just decide to do this out of the blue, or is this for a class?
It's for the class, but we do hope if it is successful and we decide that it is something that's good to do, we hope that it could be like perhaps a monthly thing for next year, outside of class.
Yeah, that'd be
so
cool.
it would definitely be a good potential for a very interesting show program to be live, at Dan Rodden and also on LaSalle TV. I think it would be really great. But we're doing the trial run first, and we'll see how that works out.
How are you getting the word out there? Are you like
Well,
bribing people?
we have
with
flyers.
anything?
We have flyers that we're putting around campus. I'm telling all of the comm professors about it so that they can advertise through that. And some of them I think are using extra credit grades to boost it up. But we're trying our best to spread the word throughout the comm center first, and then the rest of the university.
And I just have to ask, final question here. We know from the infamous GIF of you on the
yes.
Bleacher Report playing the drums. Who replaced you on the show? I know you're producing, and you're head of the music department. So, who do we plan to see on drumming?
I think there's still a potential that I could be drumming, but I will potentially also be in the front and maybe have a tambourine. But we do have other drummers. There's Kwaku is one of his names, and Amiel. Those are two drummers that we have. They're really great guys, really great drummers.
Awesome.
They maybe don't make as many stupid faces that I do, I guess. But it should still be something fun to look at.
Well, Dean,
We wish you a lot of success with
Thank
it.
you. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
Of
Hope to be
course.
in the audience there, and best of luck with it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And now we're just going to take a quick look at what's happening in the city of Philadelphia. It was the 96th time that the Philadelphia streets made ways for the 1.4 mile 6 ABC Dunkin' Donuts Thanksgiving Day Parade. That is a mouthful. This event is the oldest in the country and a true Philadelphia tradition. They had two of their biggest eye-catching floats, their Dunkin' Donuts opening float, and of course, the Campbell's Thanksgiving Harvest Float. In addition to their great floats, they had giant balloons, marching bands, dance groups, and much more this Thanksgiving. The 6 ABC Donuts Thanksgiving Day Parade even helped welcome in the holiday season by having the one and only Santa come and make a special appearance.
Speaking of Santa, 'tis the season to get into the holiday spirit, hence the shirt. And what better way to get in than by joining the running of the Santas. Saturday, December 12th is the annual celebration that brings in thousands of pub crawlers to the streets dressed as Santa Claus for charity. Those of legal age can start out at Lolly's Ale House, a local bar, and at 5 p.m. run to the Electric Factory in a full Santa attire. There will be live music, drinks, and food. Proceeds will benefit Ellie Kroner Leukemia Foundation.
Now showing live in a theater near you, A Christmas Story. That's right, you do not have to wait for TBS's 24-hour marathon of the holiday classic on Christmas Eve. Now through January 10th, the Walnut Street Theater presents A Christmas Story, the musical. Showtimes vary and tickets can be purchased between $20 to $95 on the theater's website. See the 1983 classic live as the 9-year-old Ralphie longs for his double Red Ryder BB gun on Christmas morning. According to the Philadelphia Inquirer's Chuck Darrow, scriptwriter Joseph Robinette included all of the signature scenes of the film in his musical. Director James Rocco offers a must-see attraction for the holiday season in Philadelphia.
Now, on a more serious note, last week, Mayor-elect Jim Kenney took his first steps in establishing his administration by naming a mix of names to his staff. He named his choices for Managing Director, Chief of Staff, Chief of Education Officer, and Deputy Mayor. Kenney's managing editor will be a familiar face. Michael DeBrandonis was heavily involved in the Rendell administration as well. Otis Hackney, a principal credited with rescuing South Philadelphia's high school, will be Chief Education Officer. Jane Slusher, Kenney's campaign manager, will become his Chief of Staff, and campaign advisor Debbie Mahler, his longtime chief aide when he was on City Council, will be a deputy mayor and liaison to council and the state and federal governments. More positions to come in the weeks ahead.
On November 10th, Pennsylvania native Joe McKeon scored the largest paycheck of his life by winning the 2015 World Series of Poker main event. Along with earning the title of the world champion of poker, McKeon ranked in $6.8 million in his first gold bracelet. The 24-year-old from North Wales, Pennsylvania, who sported an Allen Iverson 76ers jersey on the final day of play, is the first player since 2010 to have won the main event after entering the November 9th with the chip lead. McKeon defeated 25-year-old Marlton, New Jersey native Joshua Beck Lee after 13 hands of heads-up play. One of the most accomplished winners in the recent history of the main event, Joey Ice Cube knocked out 8 of the final 10 players.
It's time for another commercial break, but don't touch that dial. When we return, we take a look at the world.
And later, Madison Elliott sits down with Chuck Booth to talk about the LaSalle Toy Drive. Please stay tuned.
You do, me, Jerry Mathers, from the television show Leave It to Beaver. I've been diagnosed with the disease, diabetic peripheral neuropathy, or DPN. DPN is damage to the nerve tissue of the peripheral nervous system. 60 to 70% of people with diabetes have some form of neuropathy. The most common form affects the hands and feet and can cause pain, burning sensation, and in severe cases, total loss of feeling. People with DPN need to take special care of their feet. More than half of the lower limb amputations occur in people with diabetes. Be proactive, monitor your blood glucose levels, follow medication therapies, and maintain proper foot health with your podiatrist. It worked for me. To learn more about DPN, go to www.neuropathyaction.org.
My name is Carly. I'm 15 years old and I am a heart recipient. I got my first heart transplant when I was 1.5 years old. I got my second heart when I was 13. When I step out on stage, I think I'm communicating with people. I would like to tell them that I want to make a change in life. Like, yeah, you can have 2 heart transplants, but it doesn't stop you from doing the things that you love. When I get my driver's license, of course I'm going to say yes to be an organ donor because I've been saved twice. So who says I can't save somebody else? It's just the beginning of a new story.
This gift of life was made possible by an organ donor. Imagine what you could make possible. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
The holiday season is filled with joy, love, and the spread of cheer. However, this is not exactly the case for Starbucks. After the release of Starbucks' 2015 Holiday Cup, some Christians were uproared. In the past, Starbucks has always decorated their cups with Christmas images commemorating the holidays. However, this year, the plain red design was not satisfactory for many people. Some people claim that Starbucks was running away from Christianity and decided to boycott their products this holiday season. Others would tell baristas that their name was Merry Christmas, forcing them to write it on the cup design. The vice president of design for Starbucks responded saying, quote, "In the past, we have told stories with our holiday cup designs. This year, we wanted to usher in the holidays with a purity of designs that welcomes all of our stories," end quote.
Since the horrific terrorist attacks that occurred just a few weeks ago in the city of Paris, United States governors have expressed their concern on national security. 31 governors have now declared opposition to welcoming Syrian refugees into the states. All but one of these governors are Republican. This opposition surfaced when French authorities revealed that one of the suspects believed to be involved in the Paris terrorist attacks entered Europe as part of the recent wave of Syrian refugees. The suspect falsely identified himself as a Syrian named Ahmad al-Muhammad and entered Greece in October. Since 2011, 1,500 refugees have been allowed into the U.S., and President Obama announced in September that 10,000 more would be allowed entry by next year. However, the House of Representatives swiftly passed a bill after the attacks suspending all programs allowing refugees into the country.
That just about does it for world news, but before we sign out, Madison Elliott sits down with Chuck Booth to discuss the LaSalle Toy Drive. Take it away, Madison.
Hello, I'm Madison Elliott, and today sitting down with me is student Chuck Booth, who's one of the students helping organize a toy drive on campus. So Chuck, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
So you are part of a group of students who are organizing a toy drive for local children. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, so I sit on the Focus Leadership Council, and we're a group of 5 students that is putting together a toy drive to help children in a lot of the local organizations that we benefit, such as PAL. And for the toy drive, we're taking toys for kids from the age ranges of about 4 to about 14, and then we're collecting those, and they're all due back on December 4th. Then we'll be having a wrapping party on December 10th in the Union before we actually go and take all the gifts off to their organizations.
So how are students able to donate the gifts? I've seen Christmas trees around campus with little tags on them. How can students get involved?
Well, the big thing is definitely take a tag off the Christmas trees. We have Christmas trees located in B&G, Treetops, the Union, and the Chapel. And you can take one from any of those, fill out the slip on it, put it in the box, and then once you actually get your gift, you can return the gifts either to the Chapel or UMass South in the Newman Annex.
And have you been a part of this in the past on the Leadership Council organizing this?
No, this is actually my first time because the Leadership Council usually resets, so this is the first year that I've actually been on the Leadership Council.
Okay, and who is the council comprised of?
The council is comprised of 3 juniors, so it's myself, Ben Dilek, and Stephanie Barr, and then 2 seniors in Taylor Mason and Mike Brown.
And when did you start organizing all of this? How much planning has gone into it?
The majority of the planning honestly hasn't come completely from us, because the planning has come from Reg and the UMass staff compiling the list of all the organizations, who things need to go to. On us, it's really been the execution of it. So actually getting the trees up, making sure there's tags on the trees, checking with people to make sure that everyone knows about it, getting awareness of the toy drive out. And then we'll also be responsible for going out and buying gifts with whatever gift cards we receive.
Oh, people can donate gift cards as well?
Yes.
Okay, and where are you taking these gifts? What schools or organizations will you be giving the gifts to?
Honestly, I'm not completely sure of the entire list of organizations. The only one I know of off the top of my head, because I'm very involved with that organization, is PAL, which stands for the Police Athletic League. And that's a program in the local Logan area that we go to 4 times a week to tutor and mentor kids.
Oh, that's great. So are you going to actually deliver, get to see the kids get their gifts and unwrap them?
Well,
or?
the way it's set up is at PAL is kind of like a free-for-all. So during their actual Christmas party, they'll just lay out all of the gifts on a table for kids to actually come up and pick what gift they want. And we will be present to be able to see that.
Oh, that's awesome. And can anybody go to do that, or is it just going to be the council?
Yeah, anyone who would like to go and join PAL at this Christmas party, in our weekly emails, we advertise it the week that it's going to happen, and it's really just reply back and sign up.
And when will that be taking place?
That'll be taking place on, I want to say December 10th, but I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head.
Okay.
But it's basically, look out for the email and you'll see it there.
And how can students sign up for that email if they want to do that?
So you can just email us at lasallesuperheroes@gmail.com.
That's awesome.
Yeah, a nice, easy to remember email.
Definitely. And you go there every week to work with students and they're students, correct? Or is it like an after-school program?
It's an after-school program.
Okay. And that's just students from the local area?
Yeah, so anyone from ages 4 to 18 are allowed to come to PAL. Generally, we end up interacting more with the age ranges of about 4 to 12 because kids in that age range are more likely to actually work with you. But we're open to anyone. Do the kids who are between 12 and 18 get gifts too, or what's the age range for the kids for this toy drive? For it, since it's set up completely through PAL, basically everyone's going to get something because we're donating some stuff, but then they have a program at PAL called BET, which is bringing everyone together, and then they'll basically be taking care of the older kids at the PAL Center as well, so it'll be a whole group effort.
So for this, like, what kind of toys would you suggest that people bring or donate?
Really almost anything, like dolls, cars, coloring books, stuffed animals, like basically you name it and we'll be able to find a use for it.
Have you been collecting any toys so far? Or where can they take these toys? Is it to UMass?
Yeah, to both UMass locations, so the chapel and the Newman Annex.
And have you received a lot so far?
We've received a decent bit so far. We'd obviously love to receive more because there's still tags up on the trees. So until all the tags are gone from the trees, we're still collecting gifts.
And how many tags are there total, or
About
how many
400.
have gone? 400. Oh, wow.
I'm not sure the numbers of how many are actually gone. I just know there's 400 overall.
All right. Wow. Well, have you gotten, one more last question, have you gotten any unique gifts so far? Anything crazy or silly?
I'm not really sure. The most unique gift I've seen was just a build-it-yourself Lego fire truck.
Ooh, that sounds fun. Oh.
Definitely something I'd want at that age.
You might take that for yourself. You know.
Well, I'd still have Legos in my room now, so.
Well, there you go. For all the Lego lovers out there. Well, thanks, Chuck, for joining us. For now, I'm Madison Elliott, sending it back to you, Stephen Corey.
Thank you, Madison. Be sure to find us on the web as well as the rest of LaSalle TV on Facebook.com/LaSalle TV.
You can tweet at us at LaSalle TV Philly or email us your thoughts at lasalletv.lasalle.edu.
If you missed the scoop and want to see it, you can find episodes at YouTube at youtube.com/LaSalle56TV, and you can now follow our new Instagram account at LaSalle TV.
And before we go, this is our last episode, Corey.
I know. Steve, are you sad?
A little bit.
What are you going to do without LTV News in your life for a month?
We get the break, thank God. Philly's offering the big holiday season. I got to visit that Christmas Village in Love Park.
And Dilworth, you got to ice skate?
I can't really ice skate, but I'll try that. I can roller skate.
I don't know if I don't.
Difference?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
Anyway,
that'd be funny.
Bigger news this Sunday.
Huge news. My Patriots take on his Eagles.
For no reason, Corey is a New England Patriots fan.
For a very good reason. My dad's from Boston, for all of you viewers who are wanting to know.
Anyway, Philadelphia Eagles going to get back on track. One game behind the leader of the NFC East.
That's how bad your division is.
I know, but doors
all
wide
right,
open.
You know what?
We're going to win it.
Steve, take it away. Finish the show.
Until next time, have a wonderful Christmas. From Madison, Corey, and the entire crew, I'm Steve Graham. Have a fun and safe holiday as well. Thanks for watching LTV News, where the action never stops.
See you next year.